What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Johnny and KP show. This week's just me and Johnny again. So we'll get straight into it. How you going, Johnny?
Good man, yourself.
I'm happy because Man United won.
Well, you got to be happy over that. 3 points in the bag. Chelsea lose. It's a good weekend, I guess.
It was. I think you watched the Chelsea one. Do you want them? Would you rather them lose or would you rather West Ham lose?
Oh, yeah, true. Well, you got to be optimistic, don't you?
Yeah,
Go for the title still, no matter what.
yeah. So we got a few people in the chat saying hello. Reborn said hello. The big man's there saying hello. We give our hello. So you can tell us if anything's wrong with the volume or anything, guys. Do it now. If not, I guess, well, we got a bit to talk about, don't we? So we should go. The first thing we should pop into, I reckon, is the Arsenal game.
Yep.
So we got a win against Arsenal, which is excellent that we get a win, and then Carrick resigns. Like a minute after the game.
Yeah, well, I've kind of, got a bit more respect for him doing that, I guess. He probably knew that the club needed a change, and he, took the, how would you say, took it upon himself to, to step down and bring in the change. Ragnick can bring in his two guys, and I'm still not a fan of McKenna and that being there, but I think Carrick did a good thing, and he did a good job for those couple games.
Well, he finishes undefeated, doesn't he, I guess? And on that note, what you said, though, today, the interesting thing I found about today is Mike Phelan was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I think I saw Darren Fletcher in the stands.
Darren Fletcher was barking orders from the sidelines. And listen, everyone has said, I don't get it, mate. If he's the director of football, why is he barking touchline orders today? I mean, I know we're not talking about that game yet, but that's ridiculous to me.
I don't know, you got to get rid of that boys' club thing and just be more professional in the way we hire staff and interview. And I think we're starting to do that with Ragnick. And yeah, but with the Arsenal game, it was a very entertaining game, wasn't it?
It was. If you were a neutral,
We were losing, drawing, winning, so it had everything in that game.
the one thing I liked about it was whatever whoever you put the first goal down to, De Gea maybe should have been stronger. Fred stood on his ankle, whatever. But I thought the big players stood up. Like Ronaldo stood up to win us the game. After whatever happened with the first goal, De Gea stood up, kept us in the game. He made like a ridiculous save from Aubameyang that was, I don't know where he pulled that save from. And then one
Yeah.
from, I can't remember who it was, he made another ridiculous save from a corner, I think, that was just. So the big players actually showed a bit of character, which is what I really liked about that.
Did you think De Gea should have done more of that first goal?
Ah, I mean, like as a keeper, you're getting hit. You should be trying your best to stay up, I guess. But like then on the other note, I know no one ever gives any like kudos to players. Like I know you get stood on the back of your ankle, it hurts, and
Yeah.
in no thought of his mind is he thinking that it's Fred, so he goes down. That's he's thinking someone's stepped on my Achilles, which does kill, and then he's obviously thought it's an Arsenal player. Thought I'll get the free kick. I personally think um, Atkinson should have blown the whistle. Once a keeper's down, regardless if he should have been stronger or not, he should have blown the whistle.
So is that the rule of thumb? Like if the keeper's down regardless, it stops
Well,
play?
that's what even the pros are saying. They're saying if the keeper's down, you're meant to blow the whistle. The fact that he didn't and the ball went in the net, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, and VAR just look back. It's just Fred that's done the
Yeah, so it's
damage,
not a
so they can't.
foul.
No.
So, Con's in the chat. How you going, Con? He says, nice beard. Yeah, it is not bad. It's going to go soon, though, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. But then I see their side of it, like his side of it. That I mean, it does hurt, and he obviously thought it was an Arsenal player. But then the way I see it is he stood up after that and he made some crucial saves that we probably should have been losing. And if we had lost that game, I think, geez, I don't know. If we had lost that game.
I think Carrick did good in the sense of he got the draw against Chelsea and obviously the win against Arsenal, and it's sort of it's given Ragnick a bit of a launch pad now with the upcoming fixtures.
Yeah.
So so I take my hat off to Carrick, and for stepping down as well gives me a little bit more respect that he wants progression in the club, and he realizes he was a part of the problem, not just Ollie. So, kudos to Carrick. I wish him all the best. He's a good bloke. Same with Ollie, and he did the right thing by stepping down.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he, not just the fact that he did, he stood down, he thinks it's the best for United, but he probably got the taste of managing and thinks, maybe I can do this. And thought, I'm not going to sit here and be an assistant for a third person. Maybe I can go and get a job somewhere and start my, wherever, Div 1, Div 2, and start my managerial, career. Maybe he's thinking that, I don't know. But, yeah, I agree. All the best to him. I loved Mike. He was one of my favourite players, I don't know how many other people say that. He was an unassuming player, but I loved him. He was... We'd kill for a Michael Carrick right now.
Well, he could always learn his trade in the championship or something, a bit like Rooney did and Lampard did. Did Gerrard even do that before going to Rangers?
I think he was the reserves coach at Liverpool, then Rangers. I don't think he met, but, he's counting Rangers as his apprenticeship, I guess, and because they were not world beaters at the time, they were struggling.
Yeah.
So, George is in the chat. Oh, yeah. So, George, you're not on here with us, but you're in the chat. He says hello.
G'day, Georgie.
He's here. So he actually rang me today and he said he thought that we played much better this morning. But like I said, we're still on that Arsenal game. Do you think now, say, Rangnick has taken over, where do you sit? Are you confident we'll make top four? I mean, top four is our aim, isn't it?
Yeah, it always has to be the minimum of a club like United. But am I confident that we'll get top four? I'm not 100% confident because I think he wants to instill a different type of play. I think we started off with a 4-2-2-2 sort of formation today. So, and he wants a pressing style play. If the boys, adapt to that quickly, then top four is probably a good chance. But if it takes, there might be a few games where we might get spanked because we're trying new things. So
yeah,
it's still not even halfway through the season. So if top four's, it's not like it's miles away. Yeah. But I think the titles may be out of the question. We can only dream. But I want us to play a pressing type football anyway. So if it takes this season to nail out some of that stuff, and then the next manager wants to have that sort of gameplay, they look for that type of manager, then it could be worth it in the end.
Yeah. Well, the thing I compare it to is Conte plays a pressing style and he took over Tottenham, and the first couple games, they were terrible. But, they got some kind fixtures, and then last night they won 3-0, and we're playing Norwich this weekend. So I think the good thing about it is when you start playing a pressing style of football, it's a different fitness because our players are not used to it. It's like the Tottenham guys where they don't run. So I think we got some kind fixtures to get used to it because we had Crystal Palace. We got through that. We got young boys, which we've already qualified for the Champions League. He can rest players and just full train them. And then it's a week, then we got Norwich, another game where we can fully, it's a week of training and not a young boys game that can fully get it together, and it will help with that pressing style. It's just like the thing about the top four is I'm agreeing with you. I'm worried about Tottenham now because they got Conte, and they're winning and Kane's not even touching the ball. Reborn is saying, "I wish you'd kept Ole." So we must have done the right thing.
Everyone wishes we kept Ole.
This is true, Reborn. You heard it here. Everyone wishes we kept it. That's when your manager's not up to it, isn't it? That it was like us with Reborn can comment. It was like us with them when they had Hodgson. We all wanted him to stay. because he wasn't
Yeah.
up to it.
Yeah. Well, look, obviously before Rangnick's, I think we were pretty poor in the pressing statistics and
18th
tackling and
or something.
interceptions. So for us to go from instantly being a good pressing team, it's not going to happen in 1 or 2
No.
games. So I guess we're going to have to work on it and build from here. And like I mentioned before, Carrick getting those 2 important results and Ragnick kicking it off with a win. I think it's a good launch pad for him to springboard sort of thing to keep pushing forward with this. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like we mentioned, he's got a good run of 10 games now where he can sort of get away with trying some stuff and yeah, and just seeing some players who he likes and yeah, go from
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I know what you mean. Well, George has said he watched an interview with Rangnick and he said control about 10 times on and off the ball. He made sure to say control. And then he said Klopp has even said he was not looking forward to going up against Rangnick, and Reborn has seconded that, said he heard that. And I've heard that too, boys, but the only thing I say on that is Pep Guardiola says he's scared against going against Arteta too, and he smashes him 5-0 every time he plays him. So because they're mates, you don't, listen, I'm not saying he's bad, but because these guys are friends, they're not going to bag their friends, are they? Like they're going to say, Klopp's not going to
No.
come out and bag him, is he? If he's a mentor to him.
Yeah, you're right. People say that sort of stuff, but it's a good breath of fresh
Yeah,
air how he talks. How he wants to see us without the ball, how we play. So I haven't really heard that from a United manager in quite a while. So
it's the first
yeah,
time. I mean, listen, Van Gaal used to say it, it didn't happen. Mourinho used to say it, it didn't happen. It's the first manager since Ferguson where he's saying it, and you actually believe it. What I love about it is with Sir Alex, there was one thing that we were renowned for, and it was Sir Alex didn't give a fuck who we played. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm playing Liverpool this week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." He never mentioned. He never mentioned the other team. That was his thing. He was like, "I don't care who we're playing. We're Man United," and that's what I like about
we'll play our way.
exactly. And that's what I like about Ragnick. He's like, "We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this." He's not saying they do this, they do that. So we'll, it's not. It's proactive. Not reactive. That's what I like about it. And like you said, it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's going to be good to see the next month or so of how he goes. And Ronaldo didn't look too bad in the pressing game when a lot of people said he wouldn't be able to sort of play this sort of style. So, and he gave kudos to Ronaldo as well at the end. But I'm pretty sure he got a side of one of the best players in the world
Oh,
early
you
on. You
have
don't
to.
want
You have to.
to say. But he's making some players look really good and it's good to see that Delo and
Yeah.
Telles, the fullbacks, are starting to give better competition to the
Yeah.
Shaw and Wan Bissaka.
You know what? Like you're saying, you got to get on board with Ronaldo. And the thing I say is, there's all these stories coming out that we all knew they were bullshit. Like, there's no way a manager is going to come in, and if you've got this is Ronaldo, Messi, they're not going to come in and say, "I'm not going to use this guy." That's just you
No,
don't. Like for argument's sake, these guys are meant to know football better than anyone. So there's no way they're going to do that because that means they don't know football. Like they're the best two players in the world for the past over 10 years. And not on top of that, Ronaldo scored 13 goals this year, I think. So why is he not going to use him? Like it's just
mm,
it's all those stories that come out. It's like, where did you hear him from? You know what I mean? Like where? But
yeah,
they're just the so the other thing before we leave the Arsenal game, this is what I was going to say to you. Do you, like I said today, Phelan was nowhere to be seen. So do you think the other guys should have stepped down with Carrick as well?
yeah. I reckon because they're going into their third manager. You know what I mean? So really, they should have a look at themselves. Well, we've got a part to play here of what's happening at
Yeah.
United, and to me. because I have a bit more respect for Carrick, obviously him stepping down, he won't get the full compensation that he
Yeah.
deserves of being fired. So, it's a big thing for
Yeah, I
me, and
agree.
it feels like McKenna's more waiting to get that sack to get that
Yeah.
payout. But I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just me having my own thoughts. But yeah, I think it should be a clean slate. But if it's a clean slate, at least at the end of the season, and the new manager, let's say, comes in and brings his whole new crew, then I'll be fine with that, I
Yeah,
guess.
I
So,
agree. Well, that on that, like I agree. Like I think Carrick's done it. These guys should be standing down too. They got no right to have a job. And I always bring it back to Jose Mourinho had his assistant Rui Faria finished second. Rui Faria retired, wanted to spend time with his family. Ed Woodward, in his wisdom, whoever said, here's McKenna and Carrick. So Mourinho took them. 6 months later, Mourinho got the sack. And then
yeah.
Ole gets given these assistants. He got the sack. So they got no right to be in a job, like we're saying.
I mean, if you were Ragnick now, would you put your full trust as them next to you on the bench? Like, if you really followed United the past 4 or 5 years?
No way.
Like you know what I mean? It would instill you a lot of confidence having these guys giving you tips and
Yeah.
whatever. So
Ralph said in his interview, this okay, so this could be a point. He said it's hard to bring staff in mid-season because they're probably all assistants to someone, which I get that. And George also said if you're a manager and can't utilize Ronaldo, something's wrong, like we spoke about earlier. Chris says who we got next game? We got Norwich, who are bottom. So that's why I said we got kind fixtures, which is it's good for you to come in as a new manager, even as a player. It's good for you to come in and have these kind fixtures, so you can get used to a new manager, get used to a new game plan, like you said, get used to pressing because their fitness was definitely not up to it. We saw that this morning because the first 40 minutes we were all guns blazing, and then second half we were fucked. So it's
yeah,
obviously the proof's there.
yeah. Well, I mean, I know I've given Fred a lot of criticism over the past, even two
Well, everyone
years.
has.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'll guilty of that, but I have to admit, I'll give credit when credit is due, and he actually had a good game. And I think the pressing game and that sort of game really suits him as a player. So I think we'll see certain players shine a bit more. I mean, even like Delo for me played great as a fullback, and same with
Yeah,
Telles. Both of them really outstanding to me, and even Lindelof was had a really good game in my eyes.
yeah.
So yeah, different manager, different style of play. Will bring out yeah the better in other players. Maybe bring down a peg other players. More on the counter sort of play. So maybe a Rashford or something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, but it's good to see these players getting some game time and showing that they're good players.
Well, on that, everyone has pretty much been saying what you said. So many people have been saying, listen, I bet you Fred blitzes for Rangnick because he's a pressing type of player. And I always bring it back
Yeah,
to, listen, he hasn't been good for 18 months for us, but there's a reason he's keeping Fabinho out of the Brazil squad. Fabinho is playing for arguably the best team in the world. I hate saying it like we always say, but and Fred keeps him out of the Brazil team, and Brazil are 10 points clear in their qualifiers. So
yeah,
obviously there's something there. The two players that I think they're struggling, and they even struggled today again, is McTominay and Maguire.
yeah. I agree 100% on that. So I don't know. Going forward with Maguire and McTominay, I think they're stuck with Maguire because of the price tag, and McTominay, he could be just a squad player, but obviously we need a centre midfielder to
Yeah.
come in because Pogba's gonna definitely leave. Matic is on his way out. Mata is going, so I think midfield is definitely one they need to keep an eye on.
Well, like you said, Pogba's going to go, and see the thing about Maguire is Varane still
It's the
isn't back yet.
price
But if
tag.
Varane comes back, what's stopping Rangnick? I know he's captain and the price, but what's stopping him saying, listen, I'm playing Varane and Lindelof, and that's how you ease the captaincy off him, isn't it? You don't pick him. Ferguson used to do that all the time. You know, he would have a captain. I think in the last year of Michael Carrick's, he was captain, but he played like 2, 3 games. Like he didn't, you know. So Evra wore the armband. Like that's how you get the captaincy away from someone. They stop getting games.
Well, he is obviously the new manager. I think he could get away with it. I don't think the owners would be too happy with the $80 million player not getting game time.
I agree.
That's the only thing. So I would like to see Varane and Lindelof, or Varane or Bailly.
That's what I want to see.
To be honest with you. Yeah. So yeah, like Maguire's good in aspects, but I don't know. I think it's because of the price tag. It's put me off a lot. If we'd got him for 20 million, I'd probably like him more.
Definitely.
But I think that 80 million price tag is a bit banter for me, and you know, just it's hard to look the other way.
Well, what is the?
Because he's not.
Keep going. Sorry.
He's not worth anywhere near.
Yeah, no. But do you know what's the most banter about it? And I always say this is we paid 80 million for him, and Leicester paid 2 million for Johnny Evans, who has won multiple Premier League titles with Man United, a Champions League, and they replaced Maguire with him, and he's doing better than Maguire. Like, it's the ultimate banter, like, you know what I mean? And
so would you drop him for your Rangnick? Like, would you drop him?
the reason I would, like you said, is the owners are not going to be happy. But you know what? I'm only here 6 months. I don't care. I'm doing it.
Well, he's got the consultancy role after
Good
this.
on you. They've already given me a contract. They want to sack me. They're paying me. Like, I'm not going to be the manager in 6 months. I'm doing what I want, what I think's best. So he's got to look good too, doesn't he?
Well, he keeps getting picked for England, though. So unless
No,
England,
I'm talking about him. I'm saying
centre
Rangnick
backs.
has got to make himself look good, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And the
definitely.
thing with England, who else they got? Tyrone Mings. Like, they don't have anyone. And John Stones. John Stones their best centre back, and is, you know, hey, he's good, but. So, Reborn says we've got Villa next weekend, and I don't know, man. Villa are looking good under Gerrard. The one thing I say about that, Reborn, is that that's going to be an emotional day for him in particular, and that's if he keeps his emotions in check. You know, is it at Anfield? I don't know.
I actually watched a mini match of the Wolves and Liverpool game, and to be honest, Reborn, Liverpool didn't look that great.
Nah, they didn't. Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah,
Yeah, but you know they got the 3 points, which matters to
but
them.
they're
I
a
guess.
typical.
And,
That's a championship winning side, isn't it? They get the points.
Yeah, they don't play well, and they got the points.
So you know that's
They beat us 5-0. So
exactly.
well, can't say much.
And Chris, the big man, is saying we're talking about banter. He's saying, "Did you say crypto banter?" We don't pun other channels on here, man. Especially channels that are much larger than us. Nah, big up to Crypto Banter. They're a good channel. They're good. But all right, so we've sat on the Arsenal game. We're pretty much both in agreement that the rest of the staff should have went with Carrick. He showed that he's a bigger man, you know, to do that, which I really respect. But that moves us forward to this morning. Rangnick's first game in charge. I mean, I don't know. What did you think? Like, I'll say, I loved how we went out and just, you know, obviously he had one day with the squad. He wasn't going to be able to work miracles. Anyone that thinks that is tripping. But
45 minutes.
yeah, like, but we did go hammer and tongs for at least a good 35 minutes today. Like, and what was so ironic about it, so excuse me, was we played so good in that 30 minutes, didn't score, and then when we were playing crap, we scored a goal. You know, so that's sort of a good sign too. But yeah, I like, you know, Reborn is saying they learnt off us. They got Fergie time now. They're getting a bit of Klopp time. But yeah, now I'm happy that Rangnick's there, and I'm happy that you can tell something has changed. And at least we got the points this morning, man. Like Crystal Palace, a good team. Like Vieira's doing a good job.
Yeah, like you said, we come out with a pressing style, a lot of intense energy, and the boys did drop off obviously because they're not been practicing this gameplay.
That's right.
But yeah, it's good to see Ragnick, he looks like the part to me. You know, he stands on the sidelines quite a bit.
Yeah.
He was very emotional when he got that goal and he was celebrating, which was always good to see. Um, yeah, you know, looks like a cool, charismatic guy, and he speaks very well. And yeah, I was very excited to see him in his first game, and we got the win,
Yeah.
which topped it off.
No, no, it was good. I agree. It was just, I think it was good because we've been saying about it was just something different. Like the problem was Ole got the sack 3 weeks ago and we've still had the same, pretty much the same football for these 3 weeks. It's like sometimes he got the sack and you're still thinking that you can look at the sidelines and see Ole there. Because, Carrick's there, McKenna's there, Phelan's there, like we're saying. It's, it's not like he's really gone until this morning. Like that was the first game that it's been like, yeah, okay, he's gone. And I think midweek against Young Boys is going to be huge because the boys as a team, they got nothing to lose because they're top of the group no matter what. They can go out and express themselves. And
Well, I was when he picked McFred. Is that the nail in the coffin for Donny?
I don't think so. I think he did that as being a manager. He's come in. They won against Arsenal with that. I think he was just being loyal for that first, initial, his betting in period, let's say. I just think he was being loyal because they won. That team won. And, I don't think so. I think he's a footballing guy. And I think McTominay's digging his own grave. I actually think he's going to put Matic in. Like, that McTominay was bad again. I know everyone loves him. He's our youth player and that, but I've always said I actually prefer Fred to him. Which,
Yeah.
And really, they've both been bad. But to me, he just feels like a teacher's pet.
Yeah.
And I know it's bad to say these guys are professionals. They've obviously, but all coaches have favourites too. That's a fact at any level.
So is Pogba finished his ban now, or is it an
He
injury
has, but
as well?
he's injured, till the new year. So,
Yeah.
but he's not going to rush himself back when he wants to sign a contract somewhere else, is he?
Nah.
Like whether anyone believes it or not, that's what he's doing. He doesn't care.
Nah. So
Reborn is
I
sent
wouldn't
to
blame
your
him
question. No, I agree. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I said that to you last time with I think George and I'll just say, listen, man, if you're not committing, you're not playing. So you're going to sit here for 6 months and do nothing, pretty much. Go train. Mourinho, when love him or hate him, or Van Gaal did the same with, I think, Valdez, and Mourinho did it with Schweinsteiger. He was like, listen, he didn't want him. He's like, go train with the Rezzies. It wasn't part of his plans. That's what they should do to Pogba. Listen, see you, man.
I remember it happened to Valdez. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened to Pogba.
Happened to Valdez, and I think Mourinho did it to Schweinsteiger.
Yeah.
But not, I'm saying like Mourinho and Van Gaal had the balls to do it, so fucking do it. Like Reborn has said, I think Donny will show him how good he is. He'll get his chance, and then he says, I hope anyway. Which I told you, Reborn again is the nicest Liverpool fan in the history of Liverpool fans.
Well, he should get a chance against maybe young boys.
Definitely. I think it'll be Matic, Donny.
Yeah. So I noticed he bring Elanga on as well.
Yeah, he did, and he was running around, which, you know what I like? It's like everyone's going on about this pressing thing about Ronaldo, but if you got players like Rashford, Greenwood, Elanga, even Cavani like around you, you can carry that one player pressing. But the thing was, he was pressing anyway. Like Ronaldo's fit. He can press when he knows he needs to press. Doesn't have to run around like a crazy, ants in your pants type of person. He's not stupid. He probably knows the game better than anyone.
Yeah, well, that's right. So I don't know, but does he want that constant pressure, 100%?
I don't think so. That's why I think he went that formation you're saying today. Put two there because then he knows one can press, one can direct, and then when you got three up front as well, the guy in the middle can just direct where they want to go, and then the other two press. That's how it works, So either way, like he's going to press. He's not going to stand there like a stunned mullet, but he doesn't have to press like they're saying. Like and Rangnick knows that. Like,
yeah, well, the 4-2-2-2. Yeah, it's a hard formation to play, I think, and
Oh, definitely.
you can get caught out a lot in the middle of the park, sometimes dragging midfielders out wide, I think. But, if the boys, they got these 10 games now to really nail on what he wants to do, and they're lucky, well, Rangnick's lucky he's got these games coming up where he should pretty much get the points for majority of them.
Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but exciting times, you know what I mean? Like, I love pressing football. I love that high energy. I love that going forward. I noticed in the first half, the team was trying to play the ball forward a lot.
Yeah.
And I know it didn't pan out sometimes, but it's better than the sideways nonsense that we did, for months prior to this, and going down 1-0 and all this, yes, I like to call it.
That's a HFD special. Well, like I was saying, like it's you got Ronaldo there. You want to play forward to him. You got a goal scorer there, so play the ball forward. Like that's the cold hard truth of it, I think. And like I said, you touched on it then, I said it earlier, is he's got a good run of fixtures to implement whatever he wants. So you've got Norwich, Brentford, we had Palace. No disrespect to any of them, but look, like Man United, when they're firing on all cylinders, should be beating all these teams. Like that's the plain truth of it, really. So, I mean,
Do you think Delo's got a big problem holding his spot now? That Wan Bissaka's holding his spot. Sorry,
well,
with Delo's performance.
Delo, I thought, was excellent today, like you said. And the good thing about it is the way Rangnick's playing is he's telling his fullbacks, listen, I want you probably 20 metres further up than we've been playing with Ole. So in doing that, they're pressing their fullbacks back because we're going to have the ball. So it's alleviating pressure on our defence, which that's why I think he won't have to play McFred because, and that's all to do with the fullbacks, and Delo's probably a better attacker than him. I mean, but it's a clean slate. Maybe Rangnick can, maybe Wan-Bissaka might shock us all of a sudden. He's doing good attacking. We don't know. Like it's
Even Tellers on the other side, he nearly hit one top bins.
yeah,
You know
he
what I
played
mean?
well.
Yeah. Well, what's happened with Luke Shaw? Is he injured
He got
or?
concussion, and I think it was the second time. So the concussion rule. They got to be touchy with it. But listen, I think we're stocked in left back, which is really good. Tellez and Luke Shaw, both excellent players. If Wan-Bissaka and Delo can both start playing to a good level, that's good for us anyway.
Wan-Bissaka was actually on the bench today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it was his first game back from injury. So, like I said, Delo played against Arsenal. I think he's being loyal, which is good. I like that. If your players are playing good, you pick them.
Yeah, it's good to see the boys getting some game time and actually playing well. So I always thought, with Wan-Bissaka, great defensively, but does he have that cross in him? Does he have that attacking nous?
Yeah.
Sometimes his awareness and positioning sometimes freaks me out.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think Wan-Bissaka could do a good pressing game as well, though.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
So, it's hard to get the perfect right back, I guess. But if you put Delo and Wan-Bissaka together as one player,
this
it
would be
a
like
good player.
prime Cafu.
Yeah, Roberto Carlos style,
It'd
whatever.
be the best. Listen, like, not all your players aren't going to be the best players in their world in their positions. Like, you look back to our best teams, like, how many people have had shots at Gary Neville over time? But he did his job. He did his job. Like, that's...
There's nothing really fancy about Neville.
He just did his job. That's right. Like, and to touch on what you're saying about the pressing game thing, I'm so happy that we're going back to a pressing thing because you look back to probably one of our best ever teams, like, as a defender, how scared were you that Ronaldo, and this is not just attacking wise, Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez will come in and shut you down. And people saying Ronaldo doesn't press. That was the best pressing team in history. Like, Rooney and Tevez might have done more of it, but they did it as a team.
Mm.
Like, and that was the best. Like, even
Yeah,
Ferguson has said he thought the '08 team was better than his '99 team. Like,
it's one of my favorite teams for sure. You know what
oh,
I
it
mean? It's so,
was.
you forget Berbatov as well. You know,
Exactly.
we had class, we had pace, we had pressure. You know, we had mean toughness in that team. We had everything. So to get a team like that again, I wonder.
Right.
But
And no one cried about not playing.
no,
You,
it was competition. It was healthy competition.
you had blokes like
So
Giggs, who was the most successful player in the history of football, almost, and he didn't care. He's on the bench, would play when he's told. He did it.
a lot of the modern day footballers are, you know, carry tissues with them these
Oh,
days. You
prima
know what I
donnas.
mean?
That's right.
So they get paid way too much money, and they're just too emotional. And I think even the old school managers have said it. You have to manage these new age players
Oh,
differently.
definitely. Well, that's why probably like Mourinho was so successful because you go back to it, like John Terry and that, they're like, I watch interviews, they're like, I would take a bullet for him pretty much. I would go through a wall, but would new players do that for him? Probably not.
No,
They're like, oh, I'm just going to get him
no.
sacked. The big man reckons we need
Yeah.
Beckham back. Mate, we'd love to have a player like Beckham now, I tell you. He was very
Does his
underrated too.
does his son play for Arsenal? Is
No, I
that what
think
it
he's
is?
had
Is
trials with United now, the eldest one. And the eldest one is playing like Div 2 or something with someone, I'm not sure who. And the middle one has had trials with United, I think. Someone else might know, but something like that. But I think the eldest one has got a contract with like a Div League One, I think League One team or something, which is Div 3.
okay, so they're not taking after their old
Well, the
man
oldest one is not.
status.
No, he's not a chip off the old block yet, but you know,
No. Well, we got Ronaldo Jr. at the club, so that's
yeah,
okay.
exactly. Hopefully, he can be half as well. I think Rooney's son is with United. Yeah, I
Oh,
think he's
really?
with United too. So imagine that, a Rooney and a Ronaldo again. That'd be hilarious.
That would be great.
That'd be the best, wouldn't it? What a dream that would be.
Oh my God. Just need Berbatov and Tevez and
Oh
stuff.
man, it was the best. But so, do you think on the comment you made when we were here with George that do you think you were spot on with this comment that you said Ronaldo would be the undoing of Ole?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know it's entirely true because it's not Ronaldo's fault the way we were playing, really. Ronaldo looked like he was putting 100% effort in every game. He was carrying us for a lot of the
Yeah,
games. So, um, I don't know. I think Ollie, he sort of started digging his own grave, really. I wouldn't blame Ronaldo never came out and, bagged
yeah.
him so I can't really say he was the undoing of Ole. But yeah, look, I can't fault Ronaldo this year. He's actually done really well. Probably he'll be one of our best players for the
Well,
season. So you can't say he's done the undoing really. So
listen, he's come at this stage of his career. Rob has said sorry he's late. Busy editing. What's up? How you doing, Rob? Reborn has said Berbatov is one of his favourite strikers ever. He used to have him in every FIFA or game or footy game. So there you go. But yeah, to go on that, like what I was saying is was brought in. Whatever anyone thinks is he's come in at 36. They've brought him in to score goals, haven't they? And
yeah,
he's the club's leading goal scorer. The only player in the Premier League that's scored more goals in all competitions is Salah. And they're saying Salah is the best player in the world at the moment. So he's obviously doing his job. Whether you like him or
mm,
not, it's, you know,
yeah. I think a lot of people are thinking he's only here for the short term. Is he going to help us long term, sort of thing? Is he going to help the gameplay of Ragnick? And is he going to hold other players back with game time, like Greenwoods and
yeah.
Martials and obviously they have got a little bit less game time, but Martial wasn't performing at all last season, and Greenwood's still getting some game
Yeah.
time.
Well,
It's
he
good.
had
It's good
COVID,
to
they
see.
said. He was sick.
Yeah, and it's good to see Sancho starting and actually looking like he's starting to fit
Yeah.
in. And I think Ragnick really likes Sancho. I
He's
think he tried to sign him at
he's
Leipzig
always
or
said he
something
loved
like
him. He
that.
said he loved him.
So you can see him getting a lot more time. So, I mean, look, Greenwood's still very young. He's got plenty of opportunity. I think Martial, I think he might look to move in January, I'd think. Maybe a loan move or something like
Yeah,
that. Because, look, he's not going to drop Ronaldo. Ronaldo's scoring goals.
yeah,
He wants to score goals. He's hungry to score goals. And that's what you want as a striker, to put the ball in the
yeah.
net. So, he's doing his job, and I don't think he was the problem
No
for Ole
way.
in the end of the day. Um, but yeah, Ole just he just lost the dressing room. His tactics weren't working, and it looks like the team just gave up on him in the end of the
Yeah.
day.
We've had some controversial questions here by the big man in the chat. The big man says, well, first, Rob said it's a players' playground jealous of CR7, Ole inexperienced to manage those egos, which we've all agreed on. Chris has said, is this Ronaldo better than the Brazilian Ronaldo? Rob has popped back and said, Chris, no way, Brazilian Ronaldo better. Rob has said, if board supports Rangnick, United finish top four. And I have to say, I side with Rob. I do think, listen, Cristiano Ronaldo's had a better career, but I think the Brazilian Ronaldo was a better player. That's just my opinion. But I don't think many have been better than the Brazilian. He's arguably, for me, I mean, the Pele's, Maradona's, he's arguably the best player ever. But then arguably CR7 is the best player ever too. So
Yeah, I mean the problem I have is like, yeah, I love CR, Ronaldo number 9. The Brazilian Ronaldo. He was just like, yeah, unbelievable to watch when he come onto the scene. But the thing with Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a United
yeah,
boy.
that's
You know what I
right.
mean?
Exactly.
And I'm biased, obviously.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
but there's always a debate to be played with that
Of
sort of thing.
course.
Is Messi the best? Is Ronaldo the best? Is Jordi Cruyff?
Of
Maradonna's.
course. Of course.
There's a huge list, so um, they all got their better attributes,
But
I
listen,
guess.
there's
So,
ever like even Alex Ferguson to this day. They say I've read it in his book. You ask Alex Ferguson, he says who's the best, but he says Pele. So
mm,
like my dad would say Pele straight away. Like that's me. Like it's that's why football is the beautiful game, isn't it? We've seen so
mm.
many amazing players that were just freaks. It's unbelievable. And like I said, CR7. Rob's agreeing with what you said there, Johnny. Goes spot on. Ronaldo's still a huge asset, like you said. He is. He's
Mm.
arguably the best goal scorer in the world, still, isn't he? Like that's
Well, 800 something
yeah. I don't know if
goals or
Rob or
something.
anyone wants to comment on that. Like 801 professional goals he scored on against Arsenal. That was his 801st professional goal. That's
4 or 5 Champions Leagues. Was it 4 Ballon d'Ors or three
five
Ballon
Ballon d'Ors.
d'Ors?
I think he's got.
5 Ballon d'Ors.
And that's maybe people don't put as much credit into the Ballon d'Or. Like that's fair. Like I get that, but he still won them. 801 goals. I don't know if anyone wants people get that. Rob, like I said, Rob can. Rob says, "Didn't you love Inzaghi in your day, man?"
Oh man, Zaggy, mate, you can't beat the best poacher in the world by far.
Listen, Inzaghi.
Number one poacher.
Inzaghi was born offside, wasn't he? Inzaghi was good, man.
Is he still managing?
His
Is
brother
he
is. His
floating around?
brother's managing Inter.
Yeah.
Simone Inzaghi. My first ever game I ever saw Filippo Inzaghi. Do you remember what it was? It was when
No.
he scored 2 goals for Juventus against us when we won the treble. I didn't know
Yeah.
much about him then, and then that's when Roy Keane, the Roy Keane game, came back and we won 3-2 there. But he scored 2 goals in like 10 minutes against us when we were little kids. So who is this bloke?
Yeah. Yeah, one of my faves. I wish he was at United, but he never
But at least
came.
we got Ibra. Rob loves Ibra. We did get Ibra at United. That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Ibra the
You
King.
know what? It's such a shame that we got Ibrahimovic and Cavani so late in their careers. I watch
Mm,
Cavani now, and I wish we had him 5 years ago. The guy's
yeah.
amazing. Like his movement is. Oh, Chris is sticking it into Ronaldo, saying the Greeks still made Ronaldo cry. They did. This is true, mate. They did. They did. But so Reborn has said, do you agree with the Ballon d'Or ratings?
I think there's a little bit of bias in them. I have to admit, who they overlook some
Well, I think
players some
Salah
years where
finished
you think
seventh, and everyone's a bit upset about it. Lewandowski finished second. A lot of people saying he should have won it. Like Reborn said it now. Rob is saying he thinks the Ballon d'Or is a joke. So like a lot of people are on that. But listen, well, you got to think.
I liked it when Modric won it that
Yeah,
year. I think he really
yeah,
deserved it. And obviously Messi and Ronaldo have deserved it. If a few of their
yeah,
wins, you know what I mean. But I think maybe one or two of them on each side, their names sort of carried them
yeah.
over
Well,
the
the thing
line.
is, you look at Messi last year. I mean, he did win the Copa America, and he still did score. I think like 40 goals or something. So he did. It's not like he had a bad year. Like,
Mm.
and it's listen, Messi's a marvelous player. Like, there's no doubt about it. But yeah, I think this is right. Reborn is saying Lewandowski robbed of it again, and Rob's saying I agree because I think Messi even said that in his interview. It was like I think Lewandowski deserves it, which is there you go. He's saying it, but
It's the name, you
I
know what I
mean,
mean.
like, mate, he's one of the best players I've ever seen. Messi, regardless of Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
no French player won the Ballon d'Or when they won the World Cup recently.
I don't think
There
so.
wasn't.
Nah, that was that. Didn't they? Wasn't that the year there was no Ballon d'Or?
Or was that
I'm
that
not
year?
sure now. Actually, no, it's not. I don't know. Rob might know that. Don't know. What year that was?
Mm.
18.
Was that Modric won it when they got to the semis,
Yeah,
was it? Or no, they
yeah.
got to the final. They got to the
Of the World Cup.
final.
That was the same year. There you go. That would have been that year.
It was,
Modric won it because they won he won the Champions League as well. I reckon.
yeah, yeah.
Rob is saying
Yeah, I
Lewandowski
mean,
scored 41 goals in 28 league games.
yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a joke. I think there was a lot of people, like I saw on the internet, memes going around, everything like that was.
Well, listen, I'll make this point as well, and I'm not saying it now because he's a United boy. Ronaldo finished sixth, I think, and Ronaldo was still the leading goal scorer in the Serie A, and he broke the all-time international goal scoring record. So is that not a good year? Like
Yeah, true.
he
Well, what
was
about
leading,
Bruno? Bruno's
yeah.
good.
Like I don't know, Rob and Reborn, they can comment on that. Like he still was leading goal scorer in the Serie A for Juventus, who didn't win it. And he
Mm.
broke the all-time international goals record. So he had a good year. Like there's, people saying he was crap. I don't know where they pulled that from.
Well, that year that Liverpool smashed the title with Salah, did Salah even get the
I
top
think
three?
Van Dijk did better, and Messi won it. I think, and then Van Dijk come out in an interview. I remember him, and he goes, I don't accept a Ballon d'Or while Messi's playing football. So this is just respect.
Yeah, well, there you
So
go.
Rob is saying Ballon d'Or not awarded in 2020, which yeah, that's right. So everyone was saying Lewandowski should have had that.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
But I mean, like
Yeah,
it's
well,
if they want the Ballon d'Or to mean something, I know we've gone completely off United now, but they should get coaches to vote for it. Don't get journalists to vote for it.
yeah, well, that's
Get the
it.
top coaches, get the top coaches of the leagues to vote for it, and then it will mean something.
That's
Chris
right.
has said, would you rather Messi or Ronaldo in your team?
Well, look, I'm biased. Obviously, I'm gonna go Ronaldo, but it's not easy choice. Messi's. Can I have both?
Listen, we're Man United fans, so he's our player. But like I said, I don't think you even answer that question. But both like they're just both
But both, if you had both prime Messi and prime Ronaldo, you're not going to be upset
no,
either way.
no way, no way. No,
No.
that's the best way of
So
putting it. You have prime one of them. Yeah, it's not. The point I make to it is like you made the real good point, like they say about the Ballon d'Or is I put it is Michael Jordan didn't win the MVP every year he played, but everyone knew he was the best player still. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Like you can give it to other people. Like everyone still knew that year Jordan was still the best. He just didn't win the MVP. Like like
mm.
that's
So do we see any future Ballon d'Ors at United?
Well, I mean, they say Greenwood's a generational talent, but
No one from the Premier League has won it for
no,
quite a
since Ronaldo.
while.
Ronaldo with
Since
us, yeah.
Ronaldo. Yeah, wow. So there you go. And not even De Bruyne or anyone,
Nah,
you know.
nah. See, Rob has said officially I'm not a fan of CR7. He's out, he says it. But right now, CR7 will be my first name on the team sheet, then De Gea. And that's me. They're my first two names on the team sheet for United. And then if he's fit, is Rafael Varane. That's my first three names.
Yeah.
And
These guys are world
yeah,
class
like they
players.
are. Like,
And Cristiano lifts the
yeah,
players
of
as well,
course he
believe it or
does. Of
not.
course he does.
So the players want to play better for him and around him.
We
So
said that. Me and Rob spoke about it as well. We spoke about it on here. We said that about the players. Obviously, it's a United show, so we say about United players. We said that about. They said that about Eric Cantona. Like, I mean, Ryan Giggs said when I was coming through as a youngster, and this is, like I said, the most decorated player in football. He goes, playing with Eric just made me play better. So, and that's what Ronaldo will be like. That's what Messi will be like. They're all like that.
yeah.
And then Robert said what you said. Great, hard-working players inspire their teammates. And when you look at a guy like Ronaldo that's won everything, he's got the most goals there is, like, you're going to live for him. That's all there is to it.
Definitely.
Robert said Sancho could be, like, I think he's answering your question, maybe.
Well, yeah, look, at Dortmund, his numbers were just, really out there. So if he can duplicate that into the Premier League and really be consistent about it, he could have a shot.
Listen,
But we're talking Messi, Salah type
yeah.
numbers, you know what I mean? When he was,
See, listen, I think I've always been I love Rashford. And I think there was a point in Rashford's career where he was actually the best left winger in the world. He was doing amazing. He got that back injury and he's been stifled with Ole. I hope he can get back to doing what he does best and just terrorizing defenses and, get back to a level. Because there was a point where Rashford was the first name on the England team sheet, barring Harry Kane. He was getting in ahead of Sancho, ahead of Sterling, ahead of all these guys that everyone says are so good. And I just want him to get back to a level. Greenwood to get, to a level. He's, meant to be this great Sancho. Like, they're all young. They've got so many years ahead of them. That could be the front three for England. Sancho, Rashford, and Greenwood. Because Kane's 30.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got Foden now, and you got obviously Sterling, and you got Calvin Lewin.
Yeah, but like Foden can play deeper. Foden can play in a midfield or a 10 role or something, like. And the way I see it is they used to do it with Arsenal. If you've got three players or two centre backs that play together for club, you pick them for your country because they're going to do better. They know each other.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, the future's bright at United. Obviously, the new manager, and you just got to make it work. I think we're top heavy with a lot of too many attackers, and we've got defenders, but we're missing the meat in the middle of the sandwich, really, with the midfield.
So this is funny because Reborn last week, so he's laughed that you said Foden, because remember last week he said Foden's the most overrated player ever. So we've got a Man City supporter in the chat, so maybe Rob can comment to that. I don't know what they think of him. I do think he is overrated, but like I said, I always make this point. Being overrated doesn't make you bad. It's just they make him better than he is.
The thing for me with Foden, I don't get to see his 90 minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I see his highlights. You know what I mean? So what I see in the highlights, I'm sort of saying, wow, this kid's got talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be fair, I can't really give you 100% analysis on him because I don't watch Man City like I do United. So.
Yeah. Robert said, give me Rashford or Martial over Salah. They're
Martial. Wow,
mate,
Martial.
I wish someone could get the true player out, because you look at Martial when Van Gaal, his first season, man, he was 19, 18, he scored 20 goals.
And Martial's one of my favourite players, you know what I mean? And so it's hard seeing him not getting much game time or not hitting the form where we know the player he can be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he definitely has the talent. It's just hopefully Rangnick, like this. What now? I wanted to actually ask Rob this. Rob's in the chat there. Because Rob is probably one of the only persons I can actually ask. We admitted it last week, all of us. We don't know much about Ralph. Rob is one of the only people I think I can ask and say, what's all the hype about? Is he, who is this guy? Like, is he good? Like, we admitted it. We don't know much about it. It's... And then now they're arguing. Reborn has said, over Salah, are you drunk? This is why we love it. See that? We bring people together. We've got Man City and Liverpool fans arguing.
Yeah, well.
Who's the best? Listen, you know what I want to ask Reborn is, would you have Salah over Mane any day of the week?
Yeah, well, Mane's good as well. So I think they just work together, Mane, Firmino, and Salah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry to cut you. Rob is saying exactly what you said. Correct on Foden, like you're saying you watch his highlights. Problem is too many midfielders in wrong positions at City. And I think that's one, if you could pick anything of Pep, is he keeps buying players for the same position. They needed a striker, he buys a midfielder. That's.
Yeah. I mean, Bernardo Silva's looking really good. Well, but like, again, I see the highlights.
Yeah. Listen, I've watched some games with him, and he's arguably the best player in the league at the moment, Silva. He's ripping it. I've watched some of their games, and he's magnificent. Like, that position, obviously doesn't score as many goals as Salah and that, but yeah, Bernardo Silva is a very good player. I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah. He's got that, that technical.
Yeah. He's good, man.
Wizard around the box sort of thing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So.
It's like there's some. I remember. I think it was against Liverpool. It's like they couldn't tackle him. Like, he's just like a.
He's got such good control, out of this world control. So.
Robert said Salah is a stork. He stands on one leg. I actually agree. I agree with that. Maradona was that. It's just that one leg was just amazing. That was the difference.
That's why he's got the two-star weak foot in FIFA,
Yeah,
I
that's right,
guess.
2-star weak foot. Maradona's weak foot would be 1-star, but it's just that left foot was that good.
Yeah,
The
well,
goal was a free.
he only needed a one.
He didn't need anything but that. That's right. Oh, well, this is good. The chat has gotten involved, but we've come to the end of it. Let's get some predictions. Young boys, Norwich. You were good. The first week you were amazing with your predictions. Then they boiled. George did real well 1 week with them. So
the Young Boys is at Old Trafford.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we win, and I think we win comfortably. I think he'll change it up. He'll obviously mix it up, and I think those players that he brings in will really want to prove that they deserve a spot in the team. So there'll be a lot of effort coming from the boys against Young Boys. I think we will get up at least 2-3-0. And Norwich, I think we get a result there too. Another win.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll start on the roll.
Yeah, I'm going to go big. I'm going to say 4-0 midweek.
Oh.
4-0. And I reckon we get Norwich too, man. I reckon 2-3-0 we do Norwich.
Yeah, they're not playing well, Norwich, are they?
I reckon we get them. Reborn is saying got to be 2 wins. We'll get one out there for Reborn. We'll get a prediction for him. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Does Gerrard get one up on Liverpool?
Where's that played?
Oh no, maybe Reborn can tell us. Reborn, is that at Anfield?
If it's at Anfield,
or is it at Villa
Anfield,
Park?
3
Can you
points.
tell us?
If it's Anfield, it's 3 points for
I
sure.
can check. Well, what scoreline do you reckon?
I think it'll be 2-1 Liverpool if it's at Anfield.
2-1. Well, that's not the most. It is at Anfield on the 12th.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1. Yeah, I reckon Liverpool get him, man. It's going to be that'll be a massively emotional day for Gerrard.
And for Rob, whoever Man City are playing, they're going to win.
They're going to win. You just reckon it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter who City are playing, they're going to win.
They're just ripping it at the moment. They're playing Leipzig away, and then they got Wolves at home. I think I reckon They do Wolves. Oh, they're going to do Wolves. They are. Yeah, they are. You know, Rob has said it's about having a complete team. Ajax played 15, scored 48, conceded 2 goals. And I was watching this thing. They were talking about Ten Hag. They were saying the thing about him is there was a guy that's got an Ajax YouTube channel. He was saying the thing about him is he doesn't really have a plan B, but if he doesn't score, he doesn't usually concede. So most of he's got these draws, but they're all 0-0 because he rarely concedes goals. So I guess that's a good thing for Ten Hag. You know, in the future, if United are looking at him, he's resolute defense, which is good, and scores a lot of goals. So
there's no chance that Rangnick does really well and takes it full time.
I don't know. Does he want it? I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not sure. Rob's agreeing with you. They beat Villa 2-1. But yeah, I'm going to say Liverpool win. I'm going to say City win. United win. You know, I said it to you last week. The Man U-Chelsea game, before we leave. That game showed to me why I don't think Chelsea can win the league. Because they're not ruthless enough. They had 23 shots against us. They scored from the penalty spot. Then they lose to West Ham. Whereas you look at Liverpool and City, they're winning both those games.
I think they're starting to question Lukaku's fitting the squad sort of thing now.
Well, you know what the media is like, isn't it? 1 week, Tuchel's the best manager since, Matt Busby. Now all of a sudden they're questioning him. Oh, he's subbing too late. That's the media, isn't it? Like that's...
Yeah, you're only as good as your last game.
That's right. That's right. Reborn is saying West Ham win too. Who are they playing? Before we go, quickly, I'll check that one. Hope they don't win. West Ham are playing Burnley away. You're probably right. I think they will win. It's West Ham Tottenham that we look at now. And Tottenham, Conte's got them firing. They're playing Leicester. No, they're playing Brighton, then Leicester. I reckon Tottenham win both of them. Even away. Leicester in trouble, man. You know what? It's lucky we didn't get Rodgers because he's going to get the sack soon.
We'll get him for free now.
He's doing terrible. But on that note, it was a real good show, guys. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Rob, Reborn, the big man, don't know where he is. We didn't have Aaliyah in that tonight. Don't know where they were.
So Rob's coming on the show one night, or
yeah,
what?
We're going to get him on. We're just going to talk about it and see the best time we can get him on, whether that be before, I don't know if it'll be before the new year, probably in January or something. We'll organise. He wants to come on the normal podcast as well, so we'll get Rob on. It'd be good to have him on both shows, really. But before we go, quickly, Rob has said, watch the Rangnick contract terms, and he's taking the interim manager role for the rest of the year, and then he's meant to be in a 2-year consultancy. So
whatever that
means, if that means director of football, I'm not sure. AP has just come in and said, evening, lads. AP, man, we're about to leave, man. We've been on just over an hour. We're sorry you come in a bit late. We love...
Is that Alan?
No, there's a guy, he came from Lucas's stream on the podcast on Thursday night, and he's subscribed to us, and he's an Arsenal fan. So it's a bit of a shame he came in so late.
So we've got all sorts in the chat.
Yeah, we've got Arsenal, City, Liverpool. So I think AP, he came so late because we're talking Arsenal. You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. It was a great show. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
No worries, AP. He said he's been busy. No worries, bro.